Well, hello there and welcome to my channel. If you're here, I'm guessing you're either an artist, someone who's dreaming of becoming one, or juggling life, work, and creativity all at once. And let me tell you, you are not alone. My name is Paula and I'm a visual artist and I'm based in Dublin in Ireland. And today I wanted to share my story with you. It's not glamorous, but it's real. And it's about working from my kitchen table, selling art at markets, and carving out space for my creativity amidst, that's a hard one to say, the chaos of everyday life. And if you've ever felt like giving up on your dream because life is too busy or your space isn't perfect, stick around. This one is for you. Let's go back to where it started, and just to kind of paint the picture for you. I was working at the time in a large gallery in London, and my son was very young at the time. He was 3. And yes, I was pregnant with my daughter as well. And my workspace at that time, well, was the kitchen table. It wasn't Pinterest worthy, definitely not Instagram worthy. In fact, it was far from it. And I'd paint in the evenings, pack everything away so we could eat dinner, and then set it all up again if I had the energy once the dishes were done. And on weekends, I'd take my work to markets in London, and I used to do a few regular markets. And those markets were both exhilarating and exhausting. And I remember one particular time, I was probably about 6 or 7 months pregnant with my daughter at the time, and it was Christmas time, and I'd been doing the market every weekend, on a Saturday every weekend. And imagine it's in all kinds of weather, and obviously Christmas time in London, it was cold and all of that kind of stuff. And I remember bringing hot water bottles with me, and I had hand warmers and a little heater. And I would go every week and get on the tube with my trolley and a backpack full of all of my creations and bring them to the market. And then I'd set up the market. I remember one time I had to stand up, and some of the other market stall holders were just so lovely at helping out, because I would have to put a covering up and a banner up, and I'd have to stand up on the table, and there's me waddling as 7 months pregnant, standing there, and you're trying to grab the attention of all the passers-by whilst also thinking about work on the Monday and the laundry piling up at home and my son and being pregnant, all of that kind of stuff. But there was really something magical about it too. And seeing someone connect with my art and hearing their stories and knowing my work will be part of their life, that is really what kept me going. And I mean, I look back and I think, like, was that an easy time? No, it wasn't. But I was so determined, and it was just really, really worth it. When we moved back to Ireland, life shifted and my kids were growing up. And for a while, my art took a back seat. There were days, even years, when I wondered if I'd ever get back to it properly. And honestly, that break was really hard to navigate at times. But looking back, it was also necessary. Life happens, and sometimes creativity needs to hibernate for one reason or another before it can bloom again. And sometimes that's really out of our hands. But fast forward to now, and my kids are older. I've got a preteen and a teenager, and my studio, well, it's a tiny room that's become more of a storage space for paints and finished pieces and my paintbrushes and all of the other clutter that comes with being an artist, I guess, rather than it's no longer a place to actually create. And I was very grateful for that space. It's got a very small desk in it, but it just doesn't allow me to paint what I want to paint at the moment. So guess what? I'm back at the kitchen table, and it's like coming full circle. I set up, I create, I pack it away and repeat. It's messy, it's imperfect, but it's mine. So this space that you see me, this is actually our kitchen table, and we're very blessed to have a big kind of kitchen diner, and I'm able to get my paints out and just use this as my space at the moment. And one of the things that I've learned over the years is that your space doesn't define your art, your determination does. And whether I was painting tiny watercolors in a cramped apartment or working on large scale canvases, when we moved to a bigger house, my work has always adapted to my space. And the mediums that I have used have adapted as well. When I had a larger space, I was able to work on oils and just close the door, and I knew that that space was mine and it would be fine. When I had my own studio space when we lived in London, I used to rent a studio space and I was able to make much bigger works. And then when we moved to a small apartment, I started working on just small little teeny tiny watercolors, working on a coffee table. I was just so determined that I was not going to let my space hinder me from making work. And here's the reality: sometimes you have to clear the table, pack your paints away, and make room for family dinner, and that's okay. There's beauty in the chaos. And I really hope that my children look back and feel that way as well. But there's beauty in carving out those small pockets of time and space to create. This is our normal now. My kids don't question it. It's just kind of what mommy does. That's just it. But a few of the things that I would say, the tips that have made it work for me in terms of being able to create and make work, no matter what the space that I had available at the time. And as I said, it's currently my kitchen table. Is the first one I would say was being flexible. Don't wait for the perfect studio or the hours of free time, because that often won't happen. That's an ideal world. Just start where you are. And even if that's 20 minutes and you pack away your paints or your watercolors or your pencils, whatever it is, just be flexible with that. Staying organized is the second one. And that could come down to using portable storage, a toolbox, a rolling trolley. Like I see so many artists using, there's an IKEA trolley that seems to be synonymous with being an artist. Like getting a rolling trolley that you can just stack some things in, have your paints and your paintbrushes, or even a basket to keep your materials easy to set up and pack away. And three, just be grateful for the space that you have. There was times where I actually really was just very much down on the spaces that I had because they weren't ideal in any shape or form, and they were a bit dark and gloomy. But I was able to adapt them in whatever way I could, whether that was a corner of a room, kitchen table, or a tiny studio. Focus on what you can do rather than what you don't have. Dreams don't stop even when life gets busy. And my dream, oh my goodness, my dream is to build a studio down the back garden and to be able to have my own space that I'm not thinking about the dishwasher or, the kids coming in, that kind of thing, which is beautiful and lovely as it is. But I would love to have my own space, just to be able to say this is a big enough space that I can create and have my stuff stored there. It's something that I've really been focusing on, trying to bring into existence, planning and believing it will happen. But until then, I'll keep creating where I am, at my kitchen table, surrounded by my family, surrounded by a little bit of chaos, by the dogs barking at people who come to the door, and surrounded by love. And whatever your dream is, I would just urge you just to really hold on to it. Write it down, sketch it out, and do what you can today to move forward and move toward it, no matter how small the step. If you're working from your kitchen table like me, I get it. Or your living room floor or a tiny corner of your home, know this: you are not alone. We are led to believe that so many artists, be it on Instagram, social media, wherever it is, YouTube, that everybody has these beautiful, spacious, lovely, clean spaces that they work from. And I just know that that's not the reality. The reality often is that it's intertwined with life and the chaos that brings. And just understand that the magic isn't in the space. It's the fact that you are showing up your work. And your work is the magic. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect space. Start now, right where you are. If you have a small space, just make it as workable as it possibly can. tidy it, clean it up, make it organized so you feel like that it as welcoming as it possibly can be for you to bring your own magic and to make the creations that you want to make. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share your story in the comments below. Let's inspire each other to keep going. And thank you so much, creatives, for joining me, and look forward to catching up with you next time. Okay, bye.